I got a podcast that I'm going to be doing today in Oak Park, Michigan. So we wrapping up some CD sales, leaving Livonia. I got QG with me today. She's going to be doing some behind the scenes footage. And today we going to be on the Connected Experience podcast with SJ and CJ. So roll with me, check it out. That's Mix Factory 1 right there. So y'all remember that video blog I did at Mix Factory 1 on that rainy ass night? That's the studio right here at the corner of 9 Mile and Inkster. Shouts out to y'all boys. We stopped at Lou's down. We pretty much just videotaping ourselves here. Had to get some something to eat because we hungry as hell. Nah, because of the COVID orders and stuff, we can't eat in here, so they about to mess up my car because they are some sloppy eaters. You guys are sloppy eaters. Behold the studio where we'll be doing the podcast today. We about to do the Connected Experience podcast, folks, and that motherfucking corned beef was scrumptious. We here with SJ and CJ, right? Hey, you know what? On that last video blog of me selling them CDs, I called him CJ. I'm horrible with this shit, man. So these brothers represent the Connected Experience podcast, and we about to go ahead and get busy up in here. They got some fellas in here doing their thing right now. It's some good shit going on, man, and we about to go ahead and do the podcast, and you get to check it out with us.
So let me tell you, I told the story on here before. You know what I'm saying? Weeks ago. Yeah, so like last year sometime, I can't even remember where I was at, but I know I wasn't nowhere near where the end of the story go end up at, right? Okay. So the guy approached me and he said he did his spiel. He wanted to sell me a CD, and I just actually had bought a CD player, record player, mix combo thing. So I said, yeah, I grabbed one, and I know how it is selling CDs or whatever. So then a couple weeks ago, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum of location. You know what I'm saying? And I see him pull up, and I'm watching him, and I say to my wife, like, yo, he about to sell somebody a CD. And she like, what? I say, my man right here is about to get out the car and sell whoever pull up. Matter of fact, somebody, he actually was coming toward me, but somebody pulled up. That's actually what happened. He sold him a CD. I said, hey, dog, you the hooligan, blah, 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 blah. I bought your shit last year, and I know he wasn't nowhere near here. And I said, yo, man, check out the show. I want to have you on the show. So today, we go sit down and we go kick it with Joquan the Hooligan. What's going on, bro?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so that was a great story, and he told me that like the second time he seen me, he said, yo, we go ahead Joquan on because he on his grind. Like this a year later, and he's still on his grind.
Yes, sir.
Physical CDs. That's one thing we can appreciate, especially coming from music and standing outside the stores with radios and with batteries and playing music and
headphones. We used to want to get to the airport. We used to carry our headphones around and let you hear it and ride right there.
Yeah. And that was a good living for back then, but it was really instrumental in us building our name when we were rappers. You know what I'm saying? And that was dope to see that somebody still does that.
Right.
And then not only do they do it, like he's seen you more than one place. Really do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the living.
Yeah.
It's the living.
So how long have you been doing the music?
I've been professionally making a living off of it for 20 years.
Yeah.
For life-wise, I've been doing this for 30 years. I started like in 1989 with my first rap. Started doing little school shows. I did a few talent shows up at Marygrove College, St. Gregory's Church, a couple other spots that I've forgotten about. I've got old videos that I can't even find of little kid me doing performances. I performed with a foundation called the Tammy R. Murray Foundation. It's a young lady who was killed, I believe, like in Ohio, and her mother set up a foundation in memory of her, a little charity foundation. And a long time ago, she used to let like young kids from the Boys and Girls Club on Living Noise come up and do like their talent and stuff. So I've been doing it for quite some time. It's a life for me.
Yeah, right.
It's a
real lifestyle.
Yeah.
So let's talk growing up in Detroit, because we were just actually listening to some of the music on the way over here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your experience growing up in Detroit. Are you from Finkel, right?
I'm from Finkel.
So how was growing up on Finkel?
You know what? Now, a lot of folks will say, I was arrested a long time ago. Not for nothing major, you know what I'm saying? Just, I think I was just being a young hooligan, just like being a little bit rambunctious at my young age. And the arresting officer who was booking me asked, okay, so where you live? I'm like, told my address. I'm like, oh, you over there by Finkel and Livernois. Like, yeah. He's like, man, I got a girlfriend want me to come over there. I'm not parking my car over there. I'm like, dude, it's not that bad of an area. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people try to make Detroit look overly rough, overly poor. I never thought that I was poor until people started saying, like, yeah, you ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? I never believed, we never went out, went without. We never really lived like in too much crime. Of course, there were fights. Of course, there were scrimmages. There was one time that my brother had gotten into a fight and dudes came and shot up the house. But this wasn't an everyday occurrence. Right. You know what I'm saying? This was just one isolated incident from my brother being stupid. You know what I'm saying? I think that growing up.
Before you go further.
Okay.
He won the fight. That's why they came back and shot.
Probably. I mean, I was a little kid at the time. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I remember, you know what I'm saying, my father coming in, covering us because somebody was shooting outside, and I remember there were a few bullet holes, and I imagined that it was probably because he got into the fight and won or whatever. Yeah. Maybe he won, maybe he lost. I wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? But that's
be an ill nigga to come shoot up my house. And
yeah, you got to be ill. But I mean, growing up in Detroit wasn't as hard as I think people try to make it. I think it's all about the individual. How strong are you as an individual? You know what I'm saying? In order to make it.
I think too, people comparing it to where they grew up at. So if my daughter heard that story, she might say, yo, you had it hard. Like, people shooting at the house. She's never going to experience that. But then I would look at her like, but that's happened to me.
But we have houses.
Right. You feel what I'm saying? So I think people compare it to how they might have grew up. Because, I mean, so say you just told us that story is nothing. We've been on both sides of that.
Yeah.
Right? And somebody might have grew up in Bloomfield Hills, and that's how they view it, because that sound like, oh my God, you must be poor. That didn't even have nothing to do with money. That had to do with somebody more than likely being a sore loser of a fight.
Pretty much.
And wanting to be a sucker. You feel
Pretty
what I'm saying?
much.
So I always look at that when people be like, I didn't even know I was poor because we didn't make a big deal. The fun shit we was doing had nothing to do with money.
We enjoyed life.
Like, even when I hear people talk about happiness and money, like, the happiest times of my life are not one of them is tied to my financial situation. Like, I cannot remember a time that me being happy was tied to my financial situation. And I think people say that they grew up poor because of wants and not needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we never went without.
Yeah.
Me wanting a pair of Jordans, because you always hear this sucker ass story about I couldn't afford no Jordans and all that. Like, that shit is so lame to me. Like, bro, you know how hard parents gotta work to put food on the table.
Exactly. All right, we just wrapped up the podcast. SJ, AJ, the Connected Experience. So y'all make sure y'all go to SoundCloud. Check that shit out, The Connected Experience, because it's all that, baby, and a fucking bag of chips, baby. It's black owned, baby. It's powerful, baby, and we about to get into it, baby. How do you turn this thing off? This is a Joquan the Hooligan production.
Joquan the Hooligan.